All right, good morning from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Aaron Spigot, and I will be taking you through the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, and we'll be covering the last day of July for the first week in August. Hard to believe it's already here. All right, so just starting out with our current headlines, we do have a heat advisory in effect for today. That is going to be in effect starting in the next 30 minutes at noon, and will persist through most likely 8 p.m. today. We're most likely expecting heat index values of 105 to 109 in the area. So let me go ahead and pull up a little map here so you can kind of see the values that we have in our current forecast across Central North Carolina, and then highlighted and outlined in the area of the heat advisory there. So that will be in effect until 8 p.m. today. One caveat to this is that there is a decent amount of cloud cover out there this morning. So go ahead and flip over to satellite imagery just for you guys here real quick. See quite a bit of cloud cover over Central North Carolina. And I will highlight our area here for you. So you can kind of see quite a bit of cloud cover over our area. And in addition to that cloud cover, we also have a decent amount of some isolated showers that are popping up just right around the triangle as well. So a little caveat there that we may not quite reach some of those values that we have in our forecast, just like highlighting our showers here. But with multiple days of hot and abnormally warm and muggy, humid conditions, the compounding effects of that may lead to heat-related illnesses a little bit easier than normal. So that was kind of one of the reasons that pushed us over the edge for having a heat advisory for today. So just kind of keep that in mind. But then going forward for today, we'll go ahead and talk about the upcoming weather pattern here. So I put in the top left here, there is a very slow moving, almost stationary cold front up to the across the northern middle Atlantic down through the low Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley. And that's going to slowly move southward, but it's going to remain north of our region for today. And then we'll slowly move south and be well south of our area Saturday. So you can kind of see in the top right here, our cold front's now down through South Carolina and into Georgia by Saturday morning. And what that's going to do is there's going to be some high pressure over the Great Lakes. That's going to move over the northern middle Atlantic and bring in some cooler and drier air for the weekend. So that'll be much needed relief from this hot and humid conditions. So looking forward to that especially. And that will persist into early next week, but then our temperatures are slowly going to gradually warm, especially into Tuesday and heading towards Thursday, late week. And with that return of some warmer air and near normal temperatures, the threat for some afternoon showers and storms will increase heading into late week. So since we're kind of on the topic of heat, I just wanted to highlight our the experimental heat risk product here once again, showing the moderate to major heat risk in some spots, most co-located kind of within the advisory region, but even some splotches out towards the triad as well. So still quite warm out there as well. But you can kind of see Friday and into Saturday as that front, especially Saturday as the front moves through, bringing much needed relief for the weekend. One thing I wanted to verbally mention here on Friday, well, we're kind of looking for the potential for some heat as well lingering into Friday, especially if the front is a little bit slower to move in. So maybe the southern Piedmont, Sandhills, southern coastal plain may see some moderate heat or above normal temperatures and continued heat risk, but we'll continue to evaluate that for any headlines, especially once we get a better handle on when that front moves through. All right, let's go ahead and look at the accumulated precipitation forecast. So today and Friday are going to be our main rain makers. So just kind of an overview here, you can kind of see we'll look a little bit heavier into or more detailed into today and Friday. But for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can kind of see a lot of the precipitation is shifting down south of our area into South Carolina and into Georgia for the weekend. So much needed drier and cooler conditions there. So let's take a quicker look and more detailed look at today and Friday, since that's when the most of our rainfall is expected. And you can kind of see zoomed in here that a majority of the area could expect anywhere from, a tenth to a quarter to as much as an inch, inch and a half. Within these, in the blue colors are the inch and a half areas. Within those higher, there may be some localized higher amounts, 2, 3, maybe as much as 4 inches in some spots, especially if there's some slow moving storms. But for the most part, not expecting too much rain from this outside of isolated pockets of those higher totals there. And then Friday night, we'll have that axis of heavier rain shifting to the south and into southern North Carolina, western North Carolina, and into South Carolina. But this is really dependent upon the front. We'll get into that here in a second, but you can kind of see that we have a little bit more widespread totals of, half an inch to, up to 1.5 inches, especially down towards the Fayetteville area. So that will lead to a good segue here into the excessive rainfall outlook. So for today, mainly isolated amounts. That's why you see the green or level 1 risk. That's mostly due to the scattered nature of some heavy downpours and leading to some localized, most likely urban flooding concerns this afternoon into this evening. But then Friday, you see the level 2 risk here in the yellow for the Triad down through the southern Piedmont, including Wadesboro, and then eastward to Fayetteville and Goldsboro, just south of the triangle. And that area is probably the better location where we could see some closer to where the front would be Friday into Friday afternoon, and may result into more numerous to widespread showers, and then result in potential for some scattered flash flooding, mainly urban areas Friday and into early Friday night, lingering into Friday afternoon, evening, and into early Friday night. So the one caveat I wanted to mention here is this final bullet is the location of the cold front on Friday will have a large impact on where the flash flooding is most likely to occur. So this area on Friday may change. So as we kind of get a honed in on where that front will be and when. So stay tuned on that. All right, and let's go ahead and talk about the severe risk. Overall, the severe risk is less than the flooding risk for this next couple days, but there are some isolated strong wind gusts still possible this afternoon, very isolated, maybe a strong to severe, but overall probabilities of that have been decreasing over the past couple model runs. So we're still kind of keeping an eye on that as a potential, but for the most part, the better risk may be Friday, where you have more numerous showers and storms, and a couple of them isolated strong severe wind gusts could be possible from those, mainly south of the triangle down towards southern Piedmont, Fayetteville kind of area. Just quickly highlighting the drought outlook. Overall, still no drought conditions across pretty much North Carolina, so just abnormally dry conditions starting to pop up in a couple spots and starting to expand, especially down towards the southern Piedmont and into the portions of eastern North Carolina there. So just wanted to highlight that for you. So overall, still no drought conditions. And then unfortunately, maybe some bad news for some, but for the 8 to 14 day outlook, the 40 to 60% chance of above normal temperatures quickly return for maybe the mid portions of August there, and then maybe slightly favoring some above normal precipitation, but near normal for rainfall there during that same time. And here's a look at the experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook and the chicklets here. You can kind of see today still highlighting that maybe isolated pockets of some extreme heat threat there, but for a large majority of the area is more in the elevated to significant range. That's where the heat advisory is out for. And then the slight for the excessive rainfall outlook, you have the isolated pockets of some heavier rain, in addition to Friday, maybe the better threat for excessive rainfall and some isolated severe wind gusts there. All right, that's pretty much the weather briefing for today. So quick summary, warm today, rain today into Friday with some flooding threat there, and then cooler, drier heading into the weekend with a slow moderation back to near normal and some afternoon thunderstorms mid to late week. And we'll, if you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and end that here. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and into your weekend. Enjoy the weather.